we're gonna dig back into some older footage today. This video is from, let's see, give me a second. Sometime in February 4th. This is some no-gi open mat from February 4th that we'll get into. Let's see. So we don't need another weak position. Who knows what it was back then. We got Chris and Mitch up at the top with Duncan and Josh. Gavin and Joe. Cole looking for a dance partner. Gavin almost going for like a, wasn't a Taitoshi. I don't know what you'd call that. Then me and Ted. What's up, Justin?
What's up, guys? Yeah, we got people rolling.
Ted not kind of jockeying for inside position here. I'm looking for a few sweeps off my collar ties. He's just getting heavy. So I wasn't expecting this, but Discord launched a soundboard in their app.
Yeah.
And it has some preloaded sounds, and I'm waiting for a good time to use one or a couple. We got. Oh wait, I think it blocks you out when I pick it up. Yeah. I'll have to figure that out. We got your typical, sad trombone, golf clapping, got an air horn. Every time I pull it up though, I think your video goes gray because it blocks over you.
Yep.
But
yep.
It's all good because I can do that. So Ted in on a single right now. I'm looking for a reversal with a Kimura grip into like a rear crucifix position. Moving my way up to a rear triangle now, but I don't know if I get this leg through or not. Relocating. Ronnie and Justin joining us. Joe's got Gavin's ankles all crossed up. All right, lets him up. I'm working real hard to get Ted's arm across the center, which he's not letting me do, so I'm having to work from open guard instead. Ronnie with one of her favorite moves to pull on us from every once in a while. From this head and arm up over the back. Throwing Justin over.
It's a solid throw.
Yeah. Gavin's really digging on the ankle here, this may have been soon after Luke showed that
that flat ankle lock.
Yeah, where you don't actually have the Achilles grip, but you still put backwards pressure on the foot. Looks like that's what Gavin was trying to do there. Oh, we got Kate and Victoria. Kate with an inside knee pick. Right around the side control. And I'm trying real hard to work this S mount. Or that wasn't an S mount. That was a mounted triangle. Trying to scoop the head. Now cutting to my angle. I don't think I rolled in a way that really helped me get to a triangle position there. Great pass. So Victoria guards here, she gets her knee elbow connection, which is really good. Gets the shin across the hip, starts to get to a safer position. And Kate makes a really good adjustment here, scoops the leg, and then heavy throw by on the leg into like a leg drag position. Just had to close the space there, try to get chest to chest.
Yeah, it was a good regard by Victoria as well, getting her knee back in safe.
Yeah.
Looks like you're trying to go for the wrong way, the Hantai.
Yeah.
Which is really tough to pull off in its own right.
Yeah, I don't think I have his head, like his posture under enough control to really get it.
Yeah, and his right elbow is down towards his knee. It's going to make it tough for you to lock that triangle up.
Yeah.
It was a quick round.
Chris and I going. Is it just a trip? Pick the leg up.
Yep.
Yeah, he may have said. Who's Luke thrashing? I think it's Justin.
Justin. Same throw that Veronica likes to do.
Yeah. Cool. Kate Victoria running it back.
Mm-hmm.
So Kate did that same takedown before, picking the leg out at the knee. I'm curious if that's like a go-to of hers or not.
It's a very solid finish on that guillotine. I think it was an arm in, I believe. Yeah. Oh no.
No, that was arm out.
No. 2 black crash guards. I can't.
Yeah.
That makes it even. Oh, I really like the assist on the. Did you see that? How Victoria like hooks the right arm with the or with her leg.
Yeah.
You see how she did that? And like what that does is it's really interesting because, I mean, granted, Kate would be able to roll, right? Like she'd be able to roll through, but like by putting that much strain, it allows Victoria to really get onto her right side, which is the squeeze for the finish, right? That you need for the guillotine. We don't want to pull back necessarily like the old school MMA finishes for the guillotine. The most efficient way is for you to crunch down the same elbow that's strangling. You're going to start driving that in towards that same side hip to almost do like a side crunch, like an oblique crunch. And you know, when she hikes that leg over, I feel like it puts her in even a better position to get to that finish.
Yeah, it seems similar to me as the like when you're trying to cut your angle on a triangle, but you can't reach to the knee, like to scoop elbow deep on the leg. You can also just grab the near side arm to help you get to that position. So while she would like to throw that leg up over the back, since she couldn't get her right knee across the body, getting her a little bit more square, that would have given her the opportunity to throw her left leg over the back. But instead, she could get at least a little bit of that additional torque by throwing it over the arms. It was a cool little adjustment. And yeah, I feel like Kate probably doesn't understand the utility of the roll in escaping that. Justin, or what did Luke do? Okay, Luke gets on Justin's back and goes to work. This may have been a round where Justin told Luke to go hard, like don't take it easy. I mean, that's not something you typically want to tell Luke.
It only happens once.
Yeah. I'm looking to set up a wing sweep here on Chris. Oh, all right.
You just roll through with that headlock. Victoria's in on the back. She does not have hooks. Okay. She's lucky here that Kate kind of flops to the side, right? Like, I mean, if I were Kate, you know, I would be hiking my my hips up to try and buck Victoria off my back.
Yeah, without the hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're in turtle. Kate's pretty safe here.
Yep. Off to the side.
I would imagine Victoria knows now she would have needed to kind of realign herself to really get that strangle.
Yeah. It's funny what a few months can do, right? Like a couple months even. Yeah. See, in here, she has the back. She just doesn't know it yet. She's not recognizing that she has the underhook.
Yeah.
And she can just sit up, turning to her right.
Well, now she can't.
now she's stuck in the triangle. Yeah.
Yeah. Once Kate was able to flank that arm, right there.
It's right when she gets a head underneath the elbow. Yeah. Now it's.
Which
I still argue you could still get out of that. You just gotta really do a really big effort to try and get your hand over your head, your elbow over top of the crown of your head.
Yeah, kind of like a bridge and a backstroke.
Yep.
I think this may have been after the first competition we did that year, or this year, where Kate actually was there. She was competing under another school.
Oh, the Newbury.
Yeah. Back in, I think that was the end of January.
Mm-hmm.
And Kate actually won her match with the arm triangle.
Hmm.
So I'm sure she was keen to get back in and get back to work on sharpening it up. And here I'm putting the stretch on Chris. So let's check this out. Because I don't get to do these too frequently. So working from back control. Chris is doing a great job keeping the space very tight, preventing me from getting my hooks in easily, but I do get one in. And when we get one in, we can start thinking about crossbody rides, high ball rides. For this one, I opted a crossbody, so you'll see my left leg is in a hook position, and as Chris turns towards it, that allows me to lock up a triangle with my legs around his singular leg. Now, I don't want to realign myself. You hear us talking about that when we're going for rear naked strangles, having our spines in alignment. This time with the crossbody ride, I don't want that. I want to be diagonal with him. So you can see I'm perfectly fine chilling here out to the side. The move I opt to go for here is a banana split, typically seen in wrestling as a pin, and a great one. But you can augment it for jiu-jitsu to work as a submission that attacks the hips, specifically the hip joints, not just the adductor muscles. You're not just stretching and making the muscles hurt. You're actually affecting the ball joint of the hip. So I stay out to the side. I work my way down to the legs to where I'm almost perpendicular with him, and you'll see I take a bear hug on his near side leg with my elbows nice and tight, and I take my heels down to the mat, and that puts enough of a stretch on that Chris says, I don't want that anymore, and he taps. There aren't many subs I could think of that people tap to because their muscle hurts. The Sulov stretch is maybe one of the only ones. That's also very uncomfortable, and I think can lead to some breathing impairment. And if you do it from a rear triangle, maybe even like an actual strangle. So the banana split can't just be an attack on muscles. Like, you got to figure out how to make it an attack on the hip joint itself. Kate getting a sweep. What happened there? I think Victoria just got a little too extended. Oh, you know what? This is a really good example. Actually, Victoria got a sweep there too. Looks like off an Upa maybe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good example of knowing your general goals in whatever position you're in. For close guard, generally speaking, I don't want to see you guys attacking. And you'll hear me say that a lot when we're doing our close guard rotation. But, you know, in this case, Victoria is very overextended. You can see her driving off of her feet, pushing forward. I don't know if she's trying to work a smother here or what. Maybe even trying to constrict the neck to some degree. Really, the primary goal here should be breaking open the guard. Don't send me videos of black belts doing, you know, attacks from within people's close guard. I know it happens. It's not frequent. I'd rather see you guys working more high percentage stuff. Guard
You
breaking.
won't see it at a high level competition by any stretch.
No, of course not. You don't even see guys attempting to submit people from there. You see people trying to get out of close guard and advance or enter the legs, typically. So because Victoria was so extended, she really didn't have a base. Her arms were attacking the neck, so it was very, very easy for Kate to roll her and take mount, which is terrible for Victoria. Working right up to an armbar. Good control. Nice. I like Victoria's attempt to strip the grips. Mitch right off the bat trying to beat my ass.
Love to see it.
Braden working 50-50 against Duncan here. Luke just sit to guard, I think.
He did. He pulled.
And Mitch went down with got the single, but didn't work well to take or keep top position there. So I'm able to scramble up. I bet Braden and Gavin and Kurt's boys, like if you compared them now to 2 months ago, like we're doing here, I bet we could pick out some pretty sizable changes in their game.
Yeah.
Especially like their finishing techniques.
I think that's where you're going to see the most is just the detail. Their body positioning and everything is probably mostly the same. But yeah, I think a lot of the finishing mechanics you'll see changing over time.
I mean, right there alone, maybe Duncan was giving enough of a fight. But I think Braden and Gavin like to play with the head scissor and side triangle dilemmas there from that dorsal position. Does he get, oh yeah, all right. Probably sunk in a quick enough strangle. Oh, Kate getting her back taken. Hell, even Mitchell too. Like, I think there's some leg attacks, which was probably more well acquainted with at this point. Duncan pinching his knees, preventing that. That's double ankle sweep. Joe smashing Justin with his armpit. Miserable. See what he's looking for. Probably an Americana.
Americana, yeah.
Ooh, the 10-finger guillotine from Braden.
Yeah.
Dude, you woke something in them when you showed that technique.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had to defend so many of those as I have in like the last 3 months from multiple people.
I mean, in particular, Braden and Gavin. Like, they both. I feel like every single roll,
Yeah.
I've got both of their thumbs in my trach.
Steven
At
too.
some point. And Steven, yes. Mitch is really trying to go in on a leg.
He is. Yes, he is. Does that mean Coop? Yeah. I think Josh did really well at that first competition too, so he's probably feeling pretty good about himself right now. So getting a roll with Luke just to bring him back down to earth. Say it's a good thing.
Oh man, I don't think you have sound on.
What? Been watching without sound? That's not the best way to do this. What? I don't know. James, Justin. I mean, my sound's on.
No, it's on. I can hear it.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you already knew that. Got it. Okay, all right.
God. Give me a heart attack.
We went through those growing pains.
Muted for work. Yeah, one of these days, probably in the next couple weeks, I need to update OBS, and I've gotta make some audio changes anyway to get some ideas I have working. So y'all can join us on a stream while Mike and I boomer our way through some AV stuff. All right, let's see. Anyway, Jordan totally distracting me, throwing me off. We missed Cooper's armbar. So I'm past Cooper's guard. He reguards here. Gets me in that body triangle from the front, which I hate that he can do.
He just throws that up so effortlessly.
Yeah, that was really, really good.
And that was a slick transition.
And I think he has both. He had both arms in too, so he was in like a dead orchard position, which
Yeah.
we don't get to see too frequently because I don't think anybody here really plays that. For those curious, the dead orchard is most. It was popularized by 10th Planet Nathan Orchard, where it's think a triangle but with both arms in, but it's a figure four that's very high up over the back. So your arms are brought in really tight, and you have, you know, two things to worry about, or three things. Well, your two
You can get
arms.
the strangle. Yeah, you can get the strangle from there.
Yeah, that's true. So there's a bit more to worry about, and it's very difficult to escape from. And Cooper just throws it up on me like nothing, and goes for the armbar. Also called a figure four top lock if you like the Danaher nomenclature. Rolling Kimura back take for myself. Let's see, Victoria is past Duncan's guard here. Maybe getting a little too committed. Yeah. But not accepting the takedown. There we go. Now we see Victoria working to get out of a closed guard rather than attacking from inside it. Meanwhile, Coop is trying to break my leg. And this was probably soon after our leg lock rotation. Now that I'm thinking about
more
it,
than likely.
2 months ago, we're in mount, so side control, working backwards, like mount, side control, open guard, closed guard. Yeah, probably soon after. Ooh, Victoria. I don't think she has Duncan's arm in there.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. So she's trying really hard, but doesn't actually have the strangle locked up. More just head control. Which again, by now, I think she probably would have adjusted. But yeah, with that, she could. Yeah, she's working for a sweep. That's good. It would be great if she got Duncan on her back there. I think there's room for.
I think she got it.
I think there's room for getting into a leg entrance from there too. Maybe a little bit of a TP strangle or something. Or Duncan was just worried about his beard getting messed up.
Yeah, he may have just felt like he was stuck.
Jordan, what are you even doing working on the Lord's Day? The holiest of holy Lord's Days. Easter Sunday, bro. Unless you work for like Cadbury Eggs or something, I don't think you should be working today.
Plan for the next batch.
Oh yeah, so I had to give Cooper a good lesson in the standing guard break after the competition. I remember this. Meanwhile, who is that? Joe. Where's Joe been? Was Joe here this whole time? Okay, Joe's on the side. Oh, he's back behind the pillar. Way in the back. All right, damn. Sneak it in. Ooh, and this is white belt Joe too.
Yeah.
All right, Ted and Justin, front and center. Luke does a good job of just shutting everything down with a crossface and chest-to-chest pressure. Braden using Ronnie to practice leg entrances, it looks like. So I think for Braden and Gavin, I'm torn with continuing to like teach them the finer points of leg locking, because they won't be able to use it in competition for a while, but they gravitate to it so much that I really want them to sharpen that skill, and then when they can use it, they can just come out like guns blazing, you know. Because there's a lot of heel exposure stuff and hip control stuff that I think they could stand to improve on, which I think overall would be good. We probably should just like drill that stuff into him. Luke working on his own heel exposure right now with a very deep reap to an inside ashi, or an inside ashi, but an outside heel hook. So the more recently referred to as a Z-lock. Braden's being a total jerk to Ronnie. I love it. There's something to that though. How he's trying to get under the head or under the chin. Sometimes it isn't as easy as just digging your knuckle along the jawline. Sometimes you got to use their nose as a lever. Sometimes you have to crossface. You'll see Luke doing that to us relentlessly.
Marcelo was the pull on the forehead. He would just 5 fingers straight to the forehead and pull back.
I think Dan likes that. Joe's buddy Dan, he likes that approach. Gordon, for me, popularized the wrist under the nose to kind of lift him up. Man, Coop is on the hunt for ankles. It's a straight ankle there.
Yeah, last time we trained together, he was on legs quite a lot.
He does a very good job at switching between upper body and lower body attacks.
He does.
Great open guard there. Yeah.
That was good.
Bugging the head, and he catches Gavin standing square. That's every time we show that in class. That's what we talk about. Look for your opponent in their stance. If they're square, hit him with that double Kouchi right inside the ankles. The move doesn't stop until you take top position, though. Do not fall back with that leg. There we go. That's what I want. Now you get your 2 points for the sweep. Meanwhile, Gavin could have shut that down if he got back up and retained a standing position over Cooper. Braden going in on the omoplata. Maybe sticking around for the Kimura instead. Yeah, okay. Although I'd like to see him lock his ankles up if he's going to do that. Justin, I don't know if you're still on, but if you are, we talked about that takedown I had on you in the gi and the no gi version of it. That's what I'm trying to work here on Duncan. You'll see Duncan has his front headlock position, almost like a guillotine, but he doesn't have the full grip. You see, not a great example of it, but the thought is there. I'm trying to control the elbow as I sit out, but I don't fall. I actually just kind of spin out of this one. I have no Kimura pressure here, but that's the motion, that's the exit door that I'm looking for that move.
Wow. Now Gavin's on got an outside heel hook. Then he just falls right into Remiyashi.
Really controlling with that outside knee, trying to get the heel exposure. And then he asked me about this this past week, the heel position on the leg. So I think he knows better now to have that heel on the wristwatch instead, which honestly, like, I love teaching it that way, but if you watch pros so much, like so many times, the heel ends up in the crook of the elbow. It's not necessarily picture perfect where they want it, but it does happen. You can finish it there. It's just easier for your opponent to slip the heel out. It's like Duncan and I roll through. Trying really hard to wedge myself behind Duncan so he can't hide his back there. On the power half, he rolls out. To mount. There we go. Cooper can only start escaping that once he gets to his side. Assuming he's not working like a kipping escape. I think Joe gave him a little too much room at the knees for Cooper to slip his leg back in.
Joe's trying to set up a Darce.
Joe Darcing kids. I hope Coop Darces him. Cooper could absolutely Darce Joe.
Yeah.
Dude, Gavin's Darces are getting pretty dangerous too. It kind of pisses me off because his arms aren't exactly super long, but he does them very well.
Yep.
So now I've got to make my Darce as good as his.
Yeah, both of them have really good anacondas already.
Yeah.
So it makes for a really good switch off between the two.
I'm curious if they practice that a bit in wrestling. I know they're limited in their hand grips. Like you can't. There are like some strange stipulations I don't recall, but like you can't connect your hands in wrestling for a lot of grips. And from a front headlock position with the arm in, I don't know if you could connect. I don't think you can. I think you would like have to post on the elbow and then have an arm on like the lat or the ribs or something. But I feel like they get to practice that anaconda position or something similar to it with wrestling. So it works well for them in jiu-jitsu. A nice takedown by Braden. Really trying to control Duncan with that crackdown, but he manages to get his knees underneath him. That was cool. Let's look at this. So from side control, try to knee cut, Duncan goes to turtle up, and I didn't want him to turtle up. I wanted to keep him on his back. So that's where that tight waist grip comes in. This is a crackdown where you're controlling the hips, and it really is as simple when it works. It's as simple as just forcing them back down to their side, and it's doable because you're working at the hips, like you're close to their center of gravity, so it's easy to manipulate the whole body. I go to do it a second time though, and he's managed to get his knees underneath him, goes in on a single, but then I end up sitting into cross-ashi here. So as I push forward, like I've cut my angle, I start moving in towards him. He goes back over his shin, and now once his head slips out, I just keep my knee in the middle. I scoop into cross-ashi and can go on the attack. What's Cole and Josh been up to up there? It looks like I don't know what they're working on.
Looks like Luke is letting Chris work through the leg entanglements. Duncan's doing a good job of creating space when he needs to get out.
Yeah, he was thwarting a lot of my attempts there.
But he definitely just set himself up for a crucifix.
Yeah, I don't think I got anything here though.
Yeah, you'd really just need to like kind of get up and go for that far arm.
That may have been. I may have gotten a triangle. I don't know if he tapped here or not. We roll into the pole. Yeah, I don't think I tapped him there. That was just the end of the round. Let's see, Gavin E. Cooper. Oh, okay, Cooper and Cole. Nice. Wait, what did Gavin just do? Oh, he heel hooked me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Should have known. Nice little knee pick from Ted. Let's look at the takedown real quick. I think that was, it looked like he was countering like a Russian tie from Chris. So Chris sets up his Russian here.
But couldn't get the angle.
Yeah. So Ted comes down to a knee pick. Do that one more time. Ted just stayed square with him. And then just knee pick. Okay. Ted's been off the mat for a little bit, so I don't think we've seen him contending with Chris's guard, which is like the beeline to all of these. I feel like to all of our streams, it's how do people handle Chris's guard?
Yeah.
Everybody's not doing a whole lot right now. Let's see. All right, Coop gets a strangle. We don't have a good view of that one. All right, Chris opens his guard up. All right, Chris on the attack, going for a straight ankle.
Same takedown that you just did on Gavin was what Veronica did and what Luke did.
Oh yeah. Veronica's just so much more violent with it. She doesn't mind throwing you and like smacking your feet into the ground.
Yeah. It kept good composure through that leg attack and wound up breaking out of it.
Yeah.
I think Chris was starting to really work on those. I haven't seen him working them much lately.
On straight ankles?
Just leg attacks in general. Yeah.
Gavin was doing some funky armbar work here. Let's see. This gets me to an omoplata. I roll. Okay, that's what it was. That transition from the omoplata to the armbar, you would think it's easy enough to do, but when you roll, like the angle that you need for the armbar versus the omoplata, like they're opposite each other. So you really have to like maneuver your body around to continue attacking that arm. Probably one of the big reasons I'm not a huge fan of the omoplata in general as an attack. Besides it being easy enough to defend once they roll out of it, unless you're adept at entering into the legs, the follow-up attacks on the upper body I don't think are there. And I'm sure there's some specialists who would want to argue that with me. Show me some cool stuff, I'll change my mind. He's in on it again.
Yep. Penna uses it as a way to thwart the guard pass. That's one of his big things, is the omoplata threat. But I can't say that there's a ton of people out there that utilize it.
Well, and didn't he use it to like either enter a leg attack or even like parlay that into a back attack on Nicky Rod? There was a moment where that happened, maybe
it was the body lock. It was off a body lock, because the body lock, you have, their
Okay.
arms are wrapped around you. If you can sneak one of your legs out of the body lock, right, as they're shelving a leg, the other leg is free, and
Okay.
so the free leg, if you can cut your angle enough, you can threaten the omoplata.
That's what it was. I know we've shouted out the guy before, but that Less Impressed, More Involved YouTube channel had a video on the omoplata and its inefficiency as an attack. Braden going in on his flying Kimura again. But its use elsewhere with leg attacks and things like that. But he highlighted at one point. He highlighted the Nicky Rod Penna match. I'll have to go back and watch that. Rolling with, okay, it's Joe with Gavin.
Joe's on Chris's back. He's got a high ball ride. Hasn't gotten both hooks in.
See what Luke does with this Russian tie position, if anything. Putting a lot of weight on Mitch. Okay, comes over the top for the headlock. Trying the Iminari roll every once in a while. This was before Braden's realization that it could be an ankle pick entrance.
Yeah.
What did Luke and Mitchell just do? Luke on an armbar, steps over. So Mitchell had a really good reaction here, and it was subtle, but there's a moment. Let's see if we can catch it. So as Luke falls back, you could see the elbow moves away from Luke's chest. That's the time for you guys to try to sneak your elbow down through the hips, and you do that with a hard turn towards your opponent. You can see Mitchell trying that here. I think it didn't work out for him because Luke was able to retain his grip on the arm, and he didn't. Mitchell didn't get the elbow down to the ground in time. But I would give him some, give him some props for having the right idea about that. He's having a hard time getting up to his knees now. He needs to switch his legs, like scissor his legs, if he wants to try to get both knees down to the mat. But at this point, some bad news. Luke takes Mitchell's left arm over his own left hip, Luke's left hip, for the break. Joe setting a good example as to what you should do in close guard, which is focus on breaking out of it. Now he's worried about passing, which he gets just about, does he? Yeah, I'd give him a pass there.
Definitely right there.
Yeah.
Starting to walk the legs away. Very nice. Get the knees pointed the other direction. You can see Chris's right elbow is in a dangerous spot. So you either need to think about clearing that elbow or going into, which that's what Joe's doing right there. Just cleared the elbow. Very nice. Or going into north-south. Can't.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I think he may have been setting up the side crucifix position
Yeah.
with that bottom leg wedged under the shoulder and the top leg pinning the arm. I know he and I had spoken about that a while ago. I think I may have gone over that in class at some point. Now he's stepped over into like a triangle position. Yeah, I think he was trying, it's the reverse triangle, and then he reached down for the toe hold to keep him from getting to a better angle. Dude, the thumbnail for the last YouTube video was so fun with him and Steven in Mercy Grips. Just about kissing forehead to forehead.
Yeah.
I was cracking up when I was making it. Not sure what I think I'm trying to like berimbolo him here. Something similar.
His shoulders in such an awkward. Okay, now he's cleared your hips and got past the guard. His shoulder was just such like a precarious position. Right there.
Yeah.
Here. It feels like you can turn him over, but he does have. He has the jump on you, kind of.
Yeah, I don't think my legs are in a good enough position. Like I would have needed my right leg hooking his leg. Instead, I have my left leg hooking it.
Right.
And I can't really do anything with that.
Yep.
Once he steps out, I'm kind of in some trouble. One last ditch thing I could have tried to do here. It's more along the lines of what you're saying. If I connected my hands here, I may have been able to sweep him backwards in this direction, and gotten, pinned him or something. But doesn't matter now.
Yeah, kind of like what you're trying to do at this point.
Yeah.
He's doing a really good job.
I think I may strangle him here, actually.
That looks like it's getting tight. His right shoulder is right up against his neck.
There was a time I remember getting this as a strangler, something similar. Okay.
Here again, just like with Chris, your elbow is in a really good spot, and that gives you the ability to regard. What Joe should have been doing here is worrying about your elbow, your left elbow, and either clearing it and going into that Kesa, Kesa Gatame, or switching into a north-south to get the elbow out of the equation.
Yeah.
I mean, months have passed. I know Joe has put in a lot more work on the north-south position, so I'm probably just being redundant, but nevertheless.
Yeah, another little fine detail here for you guys to keep in mind when you're trying to establish your side guard, like your knee-elbow connection when you're, put in side control. Watch my foot. What I need here is my knee underneath Joe's hips. I can't get that until my foot is above my knee. So from here, I'm just kneeing him in the side, and nothing's making a difference. But the second my foot elevates, right, you'll see, right there. I kick my foot up, my knee drops, and that's what allows me to bring my knee inside and underneath Joe's hips to connect with my knee, connect my knee to my elbow, and then from there I can start working to regard. So if you're ever having trouble and you feel like you just can't get that knee back in, think about your foot position and raise your foot up above your knee, and that should help you. That was a fun go behind from a kneeling position. Joe got a little too comfortable here, thinking he had control over my arm. And I was able to just wedge right in behind his arm and sneak around.
Now the hand fight begins. So you're looking for the straitjacket.
And he keeps switching sides, so I'm constantly switching my my body triangle, which I don't like to do. It keeps my legs a little too loose. But I hate having the lock of my body triangle on the bottom side. Personal preference. Some guys don't care.
Yeah, you could tell here he was kind of trying to. He thought that he was kind of out of. I don't know that he thought he was out of strangle danger necessarily, but he thought that fighting your legs was the most important thing here.
Yeah, it may have been, just been last-ditch effort.
Yeah. It was a nice takedown.
Yeah.
Is that a single leg? Run the pipe?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, head on the inside, had the angle right from the beginning.
Trying to get to the back. Hopefully he's not leaving a leg behind. And I think he is. Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's been like knee barring everybody every chance he gets now.
Yeah. See, he's in a really good back take position.
And I don't have.
You.
Yeah, I didn't have anything there. Now I'm in a better spot.
That's inside. Yeah. Texas Cloverleaf. Ooh, yeah.
Quick heel exposure, taking advantage. I did like how he got out of the initial leg weave threat. You could watch him kind of kick, like alternately kicking his legs back and forth to kind of disrupt my grip here. See how he's kind of like going back and forth, twisting his legs into it.
Yep.
Not letting me set up a decent grip at all. And then I imagine once I thought he was about to slip his secondary leg, I went for the primary. And when I let go, he slipped the primary and was totally safe.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of rolling escapes for leg attacks. It's not something that you'll see me do.
I made you do it. That's how I know I'm doing
Huh?
good.
Yeah.
Really trying to go for the last 5-second submission. But I get the guard
Nice.
pass. Alright, last round. Oh, great. Me and Luke. Watch me die. I don't think he and I have had a match on the stream in a while.
Yeah, normally you guys only train. Well, you guys train Mondays and Saturdays.
Yeah, he and I don't frequently get to train. Just between like splitting the higher belts with the the lower belts. He's getting more fun to roll with now that he's lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm totally gonna die. Now I just feel like I'm kind of gonna die. Sits me to my butt here. This is a good example of someone using their head as like an extra limb in a takedown. All of that pressure from his head pushing backwards through me, is what's keeping me from standing right now. It's difficult to see. Makes sense if you felt it. But he's sitting me to my butt, really with the use of his head and his hips, driving backwards into me.
Yeah, and the fact that you can't build hip height there doesn't really allow for you to threaten that far side Kimura grip.
Right.
So he's got your knees pinned. Okay, now you're. Yep. Okay.
This
so he's taken into a half guard. Yeah.
I think this was when Luke started to just choose to take mount more. Like you guys can ask him about it. He just had a realization one day where he's like, why do I just keep passing guard into side control if I really just want to get to mount? He's like,
yeah,
I need to focus on passing the guard directly to mount when the opportunities arise. It doesn't always happen, but it's almost like we get into this groove, you know, this story of like, well, I do this, you know, I pass guard and then I do side control and then I do mount, and that's the way it goes. And when we do that, we kind of are blind to all the opportunities we have to just go straight into mount. And Luke's entire game, probably over the last 6 months, has been based around mount. He spent plenty of time before that focusing on his back game. Then he said, all right, time for me to focus on my mount game. Let me just murder everybody from there now. And he has done so successfully.
Looks like he's trying to set up a triangle. Okay.
Luke loves to do a pendulum sweep from the standing guard break. That is his antidote to that, typically. So he'll start, you see him start digging on that leg, and then he uses, we go back to it, let's see if I can catch the right moment. So as he digs here, typically if he gets deep enough, he'll unlock his legs and swing this leg out, and he's taken my base away with a wrist grip. He teaches that move in class frequently during close guard week, but I'm trying to shut it down by staying low. It works really well if you do what I tell you guys to do and stand up perfectly straight like no one's on you, and work the CPR grip on the knee and all that stuff. However, I know Luke loves this, and I know that he wants my center of gravity really high so that he could swing me and get me to fall. With a high center of gravity, you're going to be more off balance with this move, so I'm staying low to kind of keep a good base. And you could see right here, he attempts it with that leg swing. He gets me moving a little bit, but I manage to stay based and just recover to my own base, wrist roll out of here, or strip the grip or something. And then when I feel confident that I can stand up tall, that's exactly what I do, attack the knee and get out. So we were kind of in this little battle there to see who can get to their signature approach faster. And while I won that battle, I definitely lose the war. Case in point, right there, Luke.
Yeah.
Luke goes from, this. You could say he's in half guard now, I guess, but his method of getting to mount here, I don't know. Maybe this isn't a great example. He is past my guard at this point, but like that way he's climbing over my legs into mount is something that he's done a lot more of lately. That free hand of his is a real luxury, getting his knee free. And now it's smash and smother, smash and smother.
Yeah, it seemed like all of February.
Yeah. And January and March. No, as much as it sounds like I'm complaining about you guys doing that, it's actually been really good and that I've gotten really good at defending it. Even I mean Luke mentioned it the other day, how I started to shut that down with him, but it kind of sucks because like I just feel like I'm shutting it down early enough, but you know, shutting it down often just means like my hands are busy framing on him and protecting my face and not in a position to elbow escape or, you know, controlling his wrist or his posture or his arm or something, you know. That's the trade-off with that.
It's nothing productive. You're not actually doing anything productive.
Yeah, I'm not advancing.
Just purely defensive. That's, yeah, I know the feeling.
All right, just to make a point, gets to mount the very last bit of the round. All right, good stuff. Well, quick night tonight, guys. Thank you for everybody who stuck around. I know this was a surprise session. I wasn't, neither Mike nor I were sure if we were going to be able to do this. So, if you guys are watching on a replay on YouTube or on the VOD, I hope you guys had a great Easter and enjoyed your time with your family, all that stuff. Let's see. Progress continues on the new school location. I think Luke and Ronnie and some of Ronnie's family and a bunch of people were helping paint today. So big thanks to everybody who is helping out with all that stuff. If you guys want to lend a hand, talk to Luke. He can let you know what we need, if anything. And yeah, what else? Anything else?
As usual this week, right?
We're moving on to back attacks or rear mount for the next 2 weeks. I think we have in 20 days, April 29th, we have New Breed Charlotte. So I hope you guys, if you plan on competing, I hope you're training hard for that. Remember, if you guys decide you want to, come talk to us, Luke, Bertram. Let us know. We can get you ready. What else? Oh, there may not be a stream for a couple weeks. I will be traveling now. Mike had his turn. I wanted to travel the world now too. So we'll see. We're gonna have a stream this Wednesday, but then following that we may be out for 2 weeks. So we'll see. In any case, don't let that stop you guys from getting back to the mats and training really hard. You know the deal. Support us here. Follow us. Thank you to all of our new followers. We actually just broke over 150 followers. That's pretty sweet. Really, really appreciate the support. Subscribe here if you can. Subscribe over at YouTube. All that good stuff. And yeah, we'll leave it there. I guess go take this time out of your Easter to trim your nails and do your laundry, and don't be stinky. And we'll see you guys this week at class. Later.